Welcome to the YouTube channel, Travis Brown Coaching. This is the second part of the series, all about how I became an Ironman for the first time.
Exactly right. Come on, Copenhagen, give it up for Travis Brown and Daniel Lambrego and Michael Anderson. You are an Ironman.
So, as you all know by now, if you follow me on any other form of social media, we did it. We got the goods, we got the supply, we got the job done. Now, this episode was all going to be about, it was going to show you about the preparation, the packing up, the bike box, getting the bike over there. And then it was going to be a bit about diving into the race, and we were going to leave the next episode a little bit more about the race. But if I'm completely honest, the stress levels hit. So we are now 4 days post Ironman, and the last episode, well, we flew out a week ago today, or we were packing up a week ago today, so we flew out 6 days ago. So this time last week, we were packing up the suitcase, we were packing up the bike box, the accessories and everything, and it just did not go to plan. So we had problems getting the bike in the bike box, getting the bike apart, even to the point of getting the pedals off the bike was an issue. And also we had a fear that one of the cats had been let out. So it was a pretty stressful day, and it got to the point where I was just doing the things. I packed my stuff up. We didn't even have time to cook dinner, so we ended up getting a takeaway. So this time last week, which would have been 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days post-race, was not to plan. So therefore, we don't have a YouTube episode of packing up. But the one thing I would say is, especially as this is sort of designed for people to understand the journey I went on, but also for first timers debating it or going through it, it is a lot of faff. It takes a lot of preparation, and it takes a lot of sort of little chores and stuff to get people into the right place to do the Ironman. So ultimately, make sure you've got the time, the preparation, make sure you've got the support, make sure you know exactly what you're doing. And if you haven't thought about, are you capable of taking a bike apart, popping it in a bike box, which depending on the size of your bike may mean more adjustments to the bike than not, and stuff like that, then make sure you know. So I had a load of help with from the guys from the Cycle Hub in Peterborough, and thankfully they're based next door to people that hire bike boxes. So that was great, but it still felt like a very, very stressful experience. So that didn't get done, but we are going to take you on a journey of what the Ironman weekend looked like as much as we could. Now, for anyone that's not done an Ironman, or for anyone that maybe doesn't understand, these events are huge. So it was very difficult for people to get content. So this will not be the best Ironman YouTube vlog in terms of the content and the footage, but it will be raw, it will be real, and it will help you understand it. So stick around. Flying out to Copenhagen with the bike and everything was super easy. We arrived sort of mid-morning, mid-afternoon-ish, or early afternoon-ish, should I say, Friday, and we got the metro over. So Copenhagen is a beautiful city, really easy to transport yourself around. And the one lesson I learned is don't get a taxi, which we'll come to because, yeah, they're steep. So we got the metro in, and what we did is we even managed, on the way down to the hotel, walking from the metro station, we walked past the bike shop. Now, one of the big fears for me was about building the bike. I'd had to take the derailleur off the back of the bike. I'm no bike mechanic, and I was really conscious of getting that alignment right and stuff like that. So anyway, we dropped off the bike shop. We said to the guy, can you build it? He said 35 quid, absolute bargain. If you've ever been to Copenhagen, that's like the going rate for a bottle of water. So we got that done, checked in, went back, picked the bike up, dropped it off at the hotel, and then we went over to register and get our race pack and everything like that. When we turned up to Amagerstrand Park in Copenhagen, it was unbelievable. It was overwhelming, it was exciting, it gave me fear, but it was kind of at that point that I knew that I'd signed up to a big event, and a lot of people watching this would have done half marathons, even high rocks and stuff. but the size of this event was just ginormous in comparison. It was smooth, it was organised, logistically it was good. Everyone around was polite. There was people of all different shapes and sizes registering, and I just knew from that moment on it was huge. So that's what we did. Got ourselves registered. We picked up the rucksack. We got the numbers, the transition bags, and stuff like that. And then obviously took those away and went and had the rest of the day in Copenhagen, which was amazing. Just a little bit of sightseeing and stuff like that. Then the next day you have to go back down. You take your bike, you take your red bag, which is your run bag, so the stuff that you need from going from the bike to the run, and the blue bag, which is your bike bag, which is the stuff you need from your swim to your bike. So you have to pack up all that on the day before. Stickers on the helmet, stickers on the bike, and obviously you can take that down on the Saturday. So the day before a race, then we took that down, we bike dropped. I took my nutrition, as much of my nutrition as I could with me as well. And took that down and just had everything set so that we could just go about our Saturday and enjoy it. So we went and did some sightseeing. We went to a food market, and yeah, just had some really good food, knowing full well that tomorrow was a big day. But we also knew that we couldn't do too much. So one piece of advice I would give is if you're going to go out somewhere different or do abroad, especially for any fitness event, really, is try and stay off your feet a little bit. Try not to give yourself too much anxiety, too much energy, but also don't wear yourself out, because it's easy to go and do 25, 30,000 steps and exhaust yourself. With me?
To the bridge to the left and then come back here. Remember to pass the buoys, right way, right order.
So, as you saw, we finished in 11:05. The first big goal someone asked me was, what's your goal? And the first thing I said was finish. The second thing was finish in daylight. And the third thing was finish in around 13 hours. 12 hours felt like the unrealistic goal. So to come in at 11:05 was unbelievable. And I'm still 4 or 5 days on now in a little bit of shock about it. The swim, I come in at 1:12, which was about 20 minutes quicker than I'd been doing that distance in training. The biker came in at 6 hours, which again was about 35, 45 minutes quicker than I've been doing it in training. And the runner come in at 3 hours 42. I didn't run up to a full marathon in my prep, but I did do compromise running or brick running, and I also did 30k. And I just held a really solid and steady pace, and it was just unbelievable. But the biggest things that I took from that were people had said to me about plan, strategy, and my training was top notch. Like when I say to you I didn't miss a beat of training, I didn't miss a beat of training, but that doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. I just communicated to my coaches, I spoke to them how I was feeling, I made sure to do all the active rest, recovery and stuff like that. And that's the biggest part, is when you're training for this Ironman or when you're training for this ultra endurance event, whatever you want to call it, It's your body's ability to keep training. It's your body's ability and your ability to build up fatigue and still keep working, because on the day, that's all we're asking you to do. It's not high intensity. It's not demanding. It's not ultra taxing on your body in the sense of it's high intensity, it's intervals, it's impact, it's explosive. It's not. It's just long, slow duration. And you need to be able to get your body to that position that you can just keep going and going and going like a steam train. So that's the big thing. Like in my training is like, are you able to get yourself in that position? If you're not doing your recovery and you're not doing your nutrition, then you are going to be in a heap of pain. So that's something, whether you're 6 weeks out, 10 weeks out, 4 weeks out, ice baths, hot baths, bath salts, recovery, massage, physio, foam rolling, ball rolling, all of that stuff on your glutes and stuff like that, your calves, and just your body's ability to recover itself in a physical manner is going to be massive, but also your ability to stress manage, rest, relax, recharge, have time for yourself, even though you're spending so much time training. If you don't do that, eventually you're going to hit a wall and you're going to struggle to push on for your training. And remember, the goal for training is to get you to an event fresh. You get paid to race, not to train. So that's something you need to be looking at, something you need to be conscious of. And then the other things, the tips and stuff that I'd say for people are, just make sure you're organised, make sure you've got lists, make sure you read the athlete guides. It gives you literally a tick list of what you need for the swim, what you need for the run, what you need for the bike, what you need after, what transitions and stuff like that. Like, make sure you understand all that stuff, because things go wrong, like, things will go wrong, but you still have an opportunity to take control and make sure it works for you. So that's something that, you know, you have to be in control of. But honestly, like, the biggest piece of advice I can give it is, if you've been thinking about it, if you've been umming and ahhing about it, just go and do it. Because it will literally be one of the biggest and best events you've ever done, and it was amazing.
Come back up.
Experience though, it couldn't have gone better. From the morning I rocked up, we paid for the most expensive taxi ever. I realised I left my water bottles, so I didn't have water for the event. That was a little bit of a stress, but IronMan has always delivered. They had water hoses. Somehow I didn't get a dicky belly, so I filled up my water bottles because it had my carb drinks in, so I managed to get some of those on the bike before the swim. The event was amazing. The thunderclap, everything like that was just superb. Tested out the water, got in, it was warm, the water was still, it wasn't very salty, there was some jellyfish, but otherwise nothing major, no stings or anything like that, there were just jellyfish in there. And yeah, everyone warned you about sort of the fight and the washing machine, and I think I was really nervous of that. I was a non-swimmer before I started this, like literally learned to swim after I booked my Ironman, and it was just amazing, like that adrenaline, that fight, having people around you swimming through the gaps, and just staying really like assertive to know what's going on, but also staying on the fast feet made a huge difference to my swim time, and just getting into that sort of time. So to come in at 1:12 was just sensational. Getting onto the bike was a good feeling, but a daunting feeling. Like, when I got onto the bike, I felt pretty nervous. I knew I had a big task ahead of me, but I knew that I'd done the work, I knew I'd done the training. It was only going to be 15 kilometers longer than my longest training ride, but adrenaline, fuel, lack of fatigue, event was going to power me on for those 15K. So that was comfortable. But as soon as I turned out, I was cramping up in my left tricep, probably from adrenaline, lack of hydration because of the water issue. So I got some water down me straight away, 40 grams of carbs, and also got like a squares bar down me straight away and a flat jack. So I probably consumed about 100 grams of carbs like that from the bike, lots of water, and then settled. the average speed for me was just high from the start. There was lots of people about, being overtaken loads by people who were, you know, maybe slightly slower or started their swim after me, but were faster than me on the bike. And that happened a lot, but that gave me a lot of motivation not to go too hard. But it's like, don't let people take you because you're being slow. If they're faster than you, they're faster than you, but don't be too slow. So that's what we managed to do. And something that I found really, really beneficial was just playing cat and mouse with people. If you've got a road bike, you're usually a lot quicker uphill than tri-bikes, and tri-bikes will come flying past you on the flats and the straights. And that was something that was very clear to me that would stay consistent throughout. So that was good, enjoyed that. The advice on the bike, by the way, is just a rolling picnic. Like, I was having 40 grams carb drink, then a flapjack or half a flapjack, then an energy gel, then carb drink, then a flapjack, then energy gel, and just so on. And I was just eating every 25-30 minutes, taking on about 80 to 90 grams of carbs per hour. And there was no way I was ever going to run out of energy because I was just constantly topping it up. I was just up. So the worst that I felt on the bike was I was just tired. I just wanted to stop, but I was never bonking. I was never failing. I was never struggling. I was just in control the whole time. Bike and I come into transition, the bike catchers come and get your bike, they take it to transition where you'll eventually pick it up later from. When I got off the bike, I got massive cramp in my right quad, and I was like, oh, I just seen Beth, she's there at the finish line. I'd just ridden past Steph and Rob as well, who'd obviously come out to sport. Don't remember seeing JP, Chloe at this point, but yeah, so I got off, I tried to get off the bike, I'm massively cramped. So I took a nice slow walk into transition, picked up my bag, which is obviously where they've moved it to, which is amazing. Got my stuff, had some food, so quick squares bar, got changed, went in the tent, shoes on, took my time, put the bag back, and then walked out towards transition and then into a nice slow run. At that point, I knew, and I know this is going to sound stupid as a first timer, but trust me, when you get to that point, you'll think it's only a marathon, particularly if you come from a running background. If you come from a cycling background, you might not feel that. If you come from a running background, you'll get to the run, you'll realize it's just a marathon. And that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I started off the run brilliantly. It was 4 laps of a 10k course, basically, plus the 2.5 at the start. I started off my first couple of kilometers too quickly, but felt comfortable, wasn't pushing it. I was monitoring the heart rate the whole time, trying to stay in zone 2. So my average heart rate for the run was like 135. And I was running at around a 5-minute pace, which I knew wasn't sustainable, but it was comfortable. And I knew I'd gradually slow down to a 5:30 over the course of the race, and my average was then 5:13, which was absolutely phenomenal. But having again that crowd in the circuit was just unbelievable. Like, it was an experience, was just amazing. There was struggles. I spent the first 20 kilometers in a little bit of cruise control. The third lap was horrid. So 22 to 32k was pretty minging. Didn't feel too good there. And that probably carried on till about 35. But once I got to that point, 7k left, running back towards the city where all the crowd was and into that finish line, there was just this surge of motivation, like through that wall. And it was just the most
Exactly right. Come on, Copenhagen, give it up for Travis Brown and Leonard Lambrego and Michael Anderson. You are an IronMan.
experience ever. Like, I cannot tell you how worthwhile it was to do this event. The training is hard, the event was hard, but honestly the training is so much harder. So again, if you are thinking you're going to do it, book the event, get yourself a plan, get yourself a coach, get yourself a training plan, particularly if you're a first timer. Give yourself some structure and just get after it, because I tell you, those long training sessions, those rainy training days, the indoor bikes, the lonely runs, the swimming sessions that take ages to get to, it might sound like a slog, but I'm telling you, it'll be the best thing you've ever done. It'll be one of the biggest events you've ever done. Like, I've done High Rocks Worlds, I've done marathons. They don't compare to the size and the magnitude of this event and the way I felt when completing it. across that finish line, it is just a roller coaster of emotions of pride, energy, excitement, seeing your loved ones who have been there supporting you the whole time. It's just all amazing, and you honestly cannot beat that feeling. So honestly, if you're debating it, do it. Get yourself booked in, look at the site. Copenhagen is one of the flattest. I think 52% of the Ironman competitors on that race day were all first timers. So make sure you sort of look at courses that are friendly. Initially, I booked Wales, which is one of the hardest. It's like 2,000 meters of elevation, and I got laughed out the playground. We will revisit that at some point. But yeah, to go and do that was just unbelievable and a real experience. So get yourself booked on. If you want coaching, if you need support, if you want to talk more about it, if you have questions about it, then please reach out, let us know, and we'll do our best to help you or point you in the direction of someone I can. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the insight. We'd love to have captured more footage, but it was just an unbelievable weekend of seeing sites, racing, being with loved ones, friends and family, and it was tricky to get videos, obviously, particularly. On the bike and stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, like and subscribe. We're going to have a Yorkshire Three Peaks vlog coming soon, and I'd love you to stick around and watch that as well. And then following on from that, we'll have even more as we take on into the next high rock season. So we've got Birmingham in October, we've got Paris in November, Bilbao in February, and then hopefully wherever the worlds are. So we'll be looking to go sub-hour there. We'll be looking to qualify for the worlds again, and we'll have clients come with us, and we'll be chasing another few flags as those events go on. So subscribe, like, get onto the Instagram at Travis Brown Coaching, and follow the journey.